Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. There's something that I absolutely have to explain to you. This whole business with kratom and why I've made some videos about addiction and my mention of the 12-step program. I want to explain to you that my addiction issues were like 20 years ago. I gave my life to God in 1999. So it's 20 years ago is when I got clean and when I became a Christian. Yeah, just to say, like, I haven't been using drugs, in a very long time. What happened was when I was going through menopause, I was having a very, very hard time, and I had tried so many things. I thought I was going to get better, but it wasn't getting better. It was actually getting like harder and harder and harder to function. I did go to a lot of doctors. Nobody would help me. And people just thought I was a head case. They wanted to give me a bunch of psych meds. And so I just was like, okay, well, I'm just going to use the kratom. It did kind of help, but what happened was, like, after a couple of years, I was at a point where I was dependent on it physically, and I wasn't feeling good, like, just all the time. And I was starting to think maybe it was the kratom doing it. Turned out it wasn't the kratom. And it was to the point where, like, I felt so exhausted, I felt sick. I mean, it was really bad. So I went to the 12-step program because I brought a friend there, and I thought, maybe this can help me not because I had this raging drug problem, but because I feel so alone, like, as an autism parent. Anyway, I just felt like, my life is unmanageable, which is what they say in the program. Our lives have become unmanageable. Now, they say it because, they've been doing hard drugs or they're drinking every day. I wasn't doing anything like that. I don't feel like the kratom was making my life unmanageable. I was self-medicating, but it wasn't doing anything really bad to me, other than the fact that I was dependent on it physically. So I joined because I'm a Christian, and I wanted to deepen my walk of faith, my walk with God, and I was like, I had said in my other video that I got to the point where I was like, God, help me, please, I need help. It wasn't about the kratom, it was about, like, my health problems and just my unmanageability of my life, which had been going on for a long time. So I went there, and I looked at these people, and I thought, well, if they just stopped doing hard drugs, and they have so much stuff going on, and their lives can improve so much in like a year, then maybe God can help me too. And I feel like I legitimately qualify as a drug addict because I used to be addicted to hard drugs many years ago, and I think I could legitimately say I was addicted to kratom, although I'm not sure if, like, addiction is the word, but whatever, why nitpick, right? Why say dependent but not addicted? But anyway, I just wanted to join this program because I want God to help us. That's what really happened. I feel like my life is so unmanageable. I have a disability. I have an autistic disorder, and not to be complaining here, but I'm supposed to earn a living in this family, take care of my partner who's disabled physically, and I have this autistic son who's now not in school because every time we put him in school, it's just like was horrible. He was being abused. I just don't know how is it possible to live like this, And at the same time, like, I was making money, at least a bit, not a lot, but like maybe $500 a month on YouTube. And now YouTube is like, they like just tanked everything. I don't even know what to do next. So they have the serenity prayer, God grant me serenity for the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because I'm like, God, I don't know what's coming next. Like, where is my income going to come from? And I'm scared. Because I'm like, how are we supposed to, like, what are we supposed to do now? Like, I really don't know. I mean, my profession is a caregiver, and I have two people that I'm caregiving to. One of them, I'm not sure how long that's going to go. Maybe not much longer. And I was looking for caregiving jobs, and yeah, I can do more caregiving, but it's very time consuming. Like, then it's like, but I have to deal with my son. Like, what am I supposed to do? The other thing about the kratom was when I did the detox and I had a lot of pain and I got all screwed up, and it was weird because I'd already started to feel better, and then I started feeling like that. It turns out that I have the underlying thyroid problem. I've had this for a long time, and that was probably why I was feeling so tired and sick and like all this kind of stuff. had a lot to do with it. And so when I did the kratom detox, probably like stressed my body, and that's why it kicked up, because what happened was my throat like swelled up, and I felt like something in there, and it started to become really painful. And at the same time, I couldn't sleep at all, and I was very like edgy and wired. But it was weird because this was like quite a while into the detox. So anyway, it turns out I have multinodular goiter. I probably have autoimmune thyroid disease. So the good thing is that because I did the detox and I had all this problem with my throat, I found out about that. But anyway, kratom was not a solution, it's just a band-aid. So now I'm looking for a real solution to the thyroid problem. So that was it. I mean, I just, now I like just going to these 12-step meetings. I find it's relaxing and it gives me something to think about besides my son and my problems. Sometimes, you know, when you're having a hard time and you're depressed, the best thing to do is to help someone else. So, you know, I'm hoping that by doing it, eventually I can help other people. I'm hoping that maybe if I do this, God will bless us and maybe something good will happen in our lives. Because I look at my life and I'm like, what did I do wrong? I must have done something. I mean, I'm looking at like how they do their program, and they say things like, you know, we thought like if only other people would change what they're doing, then everything would be okay. Then, or if we had more money or whatever. So like I think that's how people think in general. So I'm trying to apply this to me, like, because I would think, well, if only, you know, YouTube would behave differently, or if my son would behave differently, or the schools would behave differently, then I wouldn't be so stressed, and then, you know, like I wouldn't have to use kratom and I wouldn't have all these problems. I'm trying to think like that, like, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying to figure it out. I really am. I'm thinking, like, am I somehow attracting something negative into my life? What can I do differently? What does God want me to do now? I mean, I'm really trying to figure it out. Although the whole point of the program is not that you figure it out. It's just that you just do the next right thing, and supposedly, you know, then God is going to sort stuff out for you. So that's what I keep trying to do. Just do the next right thing. That's why my hair's not done, because I need to do something today. A couple right things I got to do, like run my errands and stuff. So if I keep doing the next right thing and I keep praying, then it should be that God is going to help me in my life so that things are more manageable. Because I have this third step prayer. Okay, so there's this prayer that they do in 12 step, the third step prayer. It goes, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt, which I do. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do thy will. Okay? Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. So that's the prayer. That's what I'm trying to focus on. And as it says, take away my difficulties. So when I think about my difficulties, it's just like the general unmanageability of my life. So that's what I'm asking God to help me with that. I mean, already just the fact that, you know, I can go to the meetings has helped, because as an autism parent, I felt really, really isolated. And I guess it was getting to me. So this is cool, because now, you know, I get to see people every day and talk to people on the phone and that kind of thing. And I get to be part of this thing, and hopefully eventually I'll be able to help people. So it's broken the social isolation already. And then, you know, I'm just continually asking God to help me with things in a concrete way, like help us with the situation with our son. And I'm trying to be like open to seeing, you know, when a solution arrives that I don't go, oh, no, that's not going to work. I'm trying to be open and see like what God is putting on my path. And then of course with the finances too. Okay, and also I wanted to explain for those of you who don't know, like why I do the Anita videos. It's not the present. It's just that, you know, I'm a kind of artistic person and I like to express myself in this artistic way. So if I have something that I want to say about what it's like to live with addiction, I just feel more comfortable doing it through my character Anita. I think it's also more entertaining and interesting for you, and I think the message still gets through. And I'd rather do that than just come on here and be like, yeah, when I used to do this, blah, 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 blah. Why? I don't even want to do that. I don't want to talk about really, you know, what I used to do when I was in my 20s. But sometimes I just feel like doing it through Anita. So that's it. I just wanted to explain that. So that's it. I just wanted to put it out there so you know. So thank you for your support on Patreon. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.